11 fragrances that smell way more expensive than what they are. So, super casual today. Just find you all in to come out and hang out with me. No green screen, no lights up. Let's just get into it, because no one likes all the jibber jabber. So let's just get into it. These are in no particular order, but I probably will tell you when we come across my favorites. The first one is, I have a love, mostly hate relationship with not only this fragrance, but also the brand, the designer of this fragrance, and that's Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss, man, they discontinued my favorite Hugo Boss, which was Hugo Boss Orange. They redesigned it, repackaged it. It's not the same. And then there's also like 3 different Hugo Boss Mans. There's Hugo Boss Man, then there's Hugo Boss for men. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a Hugo Boss Home. It's all the same, but they're all different fragrances. This particular one is really interesting fragrance. By the way, when something you come out right up front, you get hit with a lot of like woodsy scents, woodsy notes. Oh my gosh, finally got that out. Woodsy notes, fruity notes. As it sits, it takes on very much of like a maybe like a Wyman, not the profile, mind you. It's not a Wyman profile, but it just kind of like has that trajectory of starting off a little fruity and then going for. Because when we're talking about fragrances that smell cheap, what are cheap fragrances? They're bergamot. They're super soapy. They smell like hand soaps or body washes or something like that. What I consider to be a fragrance that smells expensive is to have complexity, to have some notes that I wouldn't necessarily anticipate being in a cheaper fragrance like patchouli or a different type of fruit other than the bergamot orange, which is in everything. So that's my first one. But I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I didn't want to do it dirty because Hugo Boss does do some good stuff, and maybe $30. So I definitely recommend it if you're looking for, a super citrusy opening, but a super masculine fragrance, kind of like a maybe an upgrade from your favorite soapy, sporty fragrances. You notice a lot of these are going to be very rich fragrances. I also equate rich as in complexity, boozy kind of fragrances. I don't know. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about when I get into it. The next one, it's gotta be Zino by Davidoff. I've been talking about this one a lot, and I'm gonna do it some more here. So, Zino by Davidoff. It has a very, what they would call mystery. You spray it, and you're like, what is that? It hits you really heavy, which is an entire bouquet of floral arrangements, but then it has this woodsy mid notes, and in the bottom there's vanilla, and it just ties it up really together. This is a 80s and 90s like super complex fragrance that used to be very expensive, over $100, and that's a good thing too, is that now, a lot of these fragrances that used to cost a lot of money, they're way down. Bichon being one of them, $300 fragrance, and now you can get it for $30. Don't go on Amazon. Don't use the mind. You gotta go to discounters. Fragrancebuy.ca, Perfume Spot. Big discount fragrances, which is what fragrancenet.com now. You gotta go there. This is a very masculine scent that gets an absurd amount of compliments. Used to be Johnny Depp's. Well, maybe still is, but wonderful. Now you'll notice in this lineup, I could have just messed with y'all so hard and just picked clones. Because at the end of the day, cheap fragrances, like $30 fragrances, cloning $300 fragrances. I could have just said, here you go, cheap fragrance, but it smells like a $300. I didn't do that. That would have been awful. Y'all would have unsubbed, and I wouldn't have blamed you. Next one is Mont Blanc. I could have picked a couple of Mont Blancs. Mont Blanc Explorer, I think, is a little bit too much clone-ish. So I picked this one, and this one's Starwalker. I could have also picked Individual, which I like a little bit better, but I think this smells more rich. And you got a floral arrangement up front. You got rose and star anise. Just really, really nice floral arrangements. Mid notes is sandalwood. This has got some masculine earthy tones, and cedarwood. It's typical. And then you have amber and musk in the base. And again, do not go to Amazon, because if you go and try to get Mont Blanc from Amazon, you're going to pay $80 to $100. And that's not cheap. So go on your discounters. Just Fragrance Net. It's awesome. Fragrance Buy is even better. So Mont Blanc. Let's just get these two over with. You all know they're coming. This is not a surprise. Halloween Man. I think maybe my favorite designer. This is the OG. This is Halloween Man. I think that it smells very similar to Born in Roma Intense. And people say that Born in Roma Intense is very similar to Paco Rabanne's, like Invictus or 1 Million specifically. So it's not a clone, but it does borrow heavily, but all of these do. There's not really any fragrance out there now that hasn't borrowed from something, you know what I mean? So Halloween Man, this is the greatest fragrances you can get for under $30, $40. This is the original Super Fruity. Just blasts you, because that's another thing. Expensive fragrances should project, and they should also last for a while. This does both. This is a clubbing fragrance. It is a Four Seasons fragrance. It is a daytime fragrance. It's incredible. I love this fragrance. It's wonderful. This is the fragrance that you get when you want a Paco Rabanne, when you want a Valentino. And honestly, I'm not even going to say that this is the poor man's Valentino, because I think it's better. I think it's better and performs better. I think it does it better than what they tried to do. And this is the only time that I attached two of the same designers, but I wanted to also give a shout out to this one. This is Halloween Man Shot, and this is the most expensive Halloween that they have in their collection. It's probably my favorite. Oh yeah. So I think you have some iris in there in the middle notes, which I can always tell because it smells like ladies' makeup. And then, it comes on strong with that woodsy, fruitiness that they all do. And then in the base notes, there's like a little bit of maybe leather and what is that? Ambroxan. It's not ambroxan, it's like a musk. Which ambroxan is like a musk, but it is different. I can't remember. But it's like a leather and a vanilla in the base notes. It's funny because they have one that's called Mystery. And you would think that that's like your ideal like date night fragrance, but it's not. This one is. And when I say it's the most expensive, it's like $40, which is still very affordable compared to a lot of other ones. But I have every Halloween, and honestly, if you have every Halloween in your collection, you really don't need to go out and get other fragrances, because they kind of cover you for every occasion. I've never been paid a penny by Halloween, but I should be. I just think so highly of them. If you don't have Halloween fragrances in your collection, you need them. Okay, next. One of my first loves in fragrance, and it's Tommy Bahama Cognac. If there is one fragrance on this table that gets more hate, it's probably this guy. And it's very simple because people loved the original Tommy Bahama for men, and they discontinued it. And then Cognac came out, and they just did not think it was a proper fit, that it could replace it, and it wasn't trying to, So, Cognac, $25, $30. What you're getting is an absolute blast of fruit, of citrus. I mean, just a blast. It kind of reminds me of like an outdated Happy for Men by Clinique. Just super strong fruity notes, but a bit of a booziness that lasts, and that's what I think separates it, because fragrances like, Herba Pura and Happy for Men and a lot of these, really heavy fruit, non-discernible fruit fragrances, they don't have anything grounding them. There's no substance to them. They're just fruit. It's like energy, just feeling like the Energizer Bunny. And what Tommy Bahama Cognac does really well is it gives you a really strong hit of that fruit, but then it also calms you down with a bit of, it's like amber, some sort of heart note that I can't identify. Maybe just a tiny bit of musk in the base, but I think it's like $28 or $30. Again, don't go to Amazon. It'll be much more. Also, I think if I was ranking like sleepers, fragrances that not everybody knows about on this list, that would be first. I don't think a lot of people are wearing Tommy Bahama's Cognac, and $30, I think it easily passes for a $90 fragrance, so it hits above its weight class. Next, we're about halfway done. Y'all should have seen this one coming. And it's Bentley for Men. Intense. So intense. Intenses are weird. They're like basically another way for a fragrance company to get more money from you by altering it just ever so slightly and then saying that they've improved the value, so you should go get it. I don't really buy into that hype, but this guy kind of only comes in intense. Now you can get the regular, but it's like the same price, so you might as well. Bentley, like the car company, at the very top, it kind of comes off like that, and you kind of have like a rim, and I just think that that's really cool. This is our first of the amber sort of fragrances. Now, there are some really good car fragrances. Ferrari has one. Lamborghini, I don't remember trying, but I think that it was pretty good. And then the Jaguars, which if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that I love the Jaguars, but they don't smell rich. I mean, you spray them and they're on for a couple of hours and they're gone. I really like them, but you have to keep reapplying them all the time. And even on them, they lack the complexity, the richness, the tapestry that they should have. So this is really the only car cologne I would say that really hits above its weight class. And it doesn't smell like a car cologne. This doesn't smell like a car manufacturer that's just trying to get some extra money. This smells like a really good fragrance. Yeah. It kind of smells, I will say this, if you don't like lotion vibes, this gives off huge lotion vibes. This smells just like just a generic lotion. Sort of a bit of vanilla in there, a little bit of floral notes. There's no booziness, despite its color. It's not really a boozy fragrance. And just a lot of floral, not a lot of sweetness to it, but it's complex. It's very complex. And if you like lotion kind of smells, you'll love this. It's a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. And it projects and it lasts and it's good. It has a little bit of like that suede leather, kind of mimic the inside of a new car. It's just really good. It's really good. Who should wear them? The individual going out for date night, or the, I would say, middle-aged individual wants something a little bit more mature. I think it's a really good fit. The people who wear Zino by Davidoff would wear Bentley for men. I mean, it's very similar. But easily would rank this up there with, not in similarity, but it would easily rank this up with like Angel Share as far as uniqueness. And I think that if a designer like Killian or Baccarat got this instead of Bentley, they would be selling it for $300. I really think that. Okay. Next. Man, this takes me back. Burberry Brit. So, I used to rock Burberry for men. That was my signature scent in high school. And my mother, bless her, thought that she was getting me another one for Christmas. And this was like 16. I think I was 16. And she totally missed the mark. I think it was my mother or my sister. It was either one of them were clueless when it came to fragrances. But happy mistakes, of course. They got me this. They thought it's all the same. Burberry Brit. It's not the same. Burberry for men is very spicy. It's not an amber fragrance, a golden fragrance, which is very aromatic, very spicy, stings the nostrils. Not everyone's cup of tea. This is the opposite. You think of Burberry Brit, think regality, think complexity, think professionalism, gentleman. Oh my gosh, that just literally just sprayed out like a hose. Think not great atomizers. Wow. Literally, like, it jumped over the microphone, over on my hand. So, like, right off the top, you're getting hit with almost like a flannel, kind of like cotton flannel, earthy tones. As it goes on, it kind of molds into a bit of a citrusy, fruitier notes. And then when it dries down, it's just that, like, pure, earthy, a little bit of musky tones, but just very, very professional. Now, I will say this guy lasts. This is one of those fragrances that you're going to have to wash off of you. That's how long it's going to last. And maybe one or two sprays, and you're good all day. So I really like Burberry Brit. You're going to find some people trying to sell you this for $70, $80. Don't do it. You can get it for $30 at discounters. Who would wear this? This is a great college fragrance. This is a great student cologne. This is a great, I'm in my 20s and I have a job, and this is a great job fragrance, office fragrance or something like that. I can't say enough good things about Burberry Brit. They also make a version for women, which is pretty good, but Burberry Brit, absolutely, $150. I think easily they could have marketed this fragrance for. Okay. Trussardi Uomo Casual Life. This particular fragrance, designer fragrance, right? Salvatore Ferragamo. Not super cheap, but also does not exceed our $40. This is a rich tapestry of fragrances. This is what they call a dessert fragrance. Yeah, so right off the top, you're getting super moussey vibes. You're getting sugariness. You're getting fruitiness. But you're also getting almost like a chocolatey undertone, which is why people say that it reminds them of tiramisu, the dessert tiramisu. And you get the same thing in Individual by Mont Blanc, which is why I really like it. I will say, I never wear this fragrance, but it's a good fragrance, and it smells like a designer fragrance. It smells great. So I really like it. Who would wear this? This is a date night fragrance, for sure. So I know I'm not trying to sell these fragrances, of course. I'm not making money off of it. I have no relationship with the designers. I know I'm not doing a great job of selling some of these, but Uomo is perfect for that individual that likes sugary, desserty fragrances, sweet fragrances. And, trying to think of what would be comparable to maybe something like a Yellow Dream by Valentino, as far as, competition, not similarities, but competition. Yeah, something like that. So the fragrances competing with Uomo Casual Life are $130 to $150 range. So I think it does really well. It's just not my cup of tea. These are not the fragrances I usually go to. Okay. Next. Man, this next one kind of hurts, actually. Maybe I shouldn't have done this one. I don't know. This used to be cheap, and it used to be wonderful, and now it's not anymore, and it's awful. Bidet Oud, Honor and Glory by Lattafa. Everybody knows Lattafa, right? For their clones. This is not a clone. This is actually a original piece, and there's a couple different notes in here, but the note that you need to be most familiar with is a note called pineapple brulee. Brulee meaning burnt, pineapple meaning pineapple. But so it's a burnt pineapple dessert sort of fragrance mixed with a bit of a vanilla coconut kind of vibes. And what that does is it just absolutely fills the room. When you walk in with this fragrance, you are going to be the absolute boss, the talk of the town. This could easily be a unisex fragrance. You have to like pineapple, but it's not sweet. It's not a sickeningly, or if it is sweet, it's more of like a chocolate cake kind of sweet. It's not a sickeningly sweet like herba pura or sugary or anything. It is a rich experience. Don't overspray that. 1 or 2 sprays and you are good. When I got this, I think it was $18. It's been so successful that it's going for like 30, and I might just keep going up. And the other fragrances in the Bidet Oud line are good, but this guy, everyone just seems to like it better than all the other ones. So that's the one people are buying, and it's for a good reason. It's really good. Who would buy it? Man, it's a unisex scent, so men, women, they could both rock it. But somebody who wants to fill a room, project. It's not an office fragrance. If you like pina coladas, that's actually that's the lyrics in that. If you like pina, no, it's not. I'm not gonna get into that. If you like the pina colada sort of coconut, fresh kind of vibes, then you'd probably like this. Date night, definitely. Weekends, I wouldn't want to wear it around the house because it's so strong. But there's plenty of uses for it. But I would definitely think about getting it before it gets more expensive, because it will. A lot of people like it. So Lattafa's Honor and Glory. It's the white bottle. Okay. Last one. Alright, the last one that I got for y'all is let me just double check before I make this statement. Maybe the second. I hesitate to put this over the Halloweens, but it's definitely one of my favorites. One of my favorite fragrances out there, and it is Trussardi's Riflesso. So, you can see, for any of you that have been with me for a while, you know that my bottles, I never use my fragrances like I'll rotate so much that I'll spray one of these fragrances like once every 3 weeks. You can see, when you see empty space in my bottles, you know that I really like a fragrance. Either that or the fragrance sucks and it doesn't project and I have to keep applying it. That's not the case with this one. When I first heard about Trussardi Riflesso, someone said, bruh, this is a wonderful clone of La Nuit de l'Homme. I have not found that to be the case, and I don't think it was meant to be. It's almost like, I guess you could say, an enhanced version of La Nuit de l'Homme, and I don't know if it tried to be. I don't know if it really tried to attack that and say, I want to do La Nuit de l'Homme my way. I don't know if it did, but what it did do was just create a wonderful, wonderful, sensual meaning sultry, meaning complex, with some depth to it. Okay, let's spray this. Oh, with a great atomizer. See how just right off the top, man, you're just getting some really good, well blended floral and fruity notes coming together, and it's balancing out so well that you can't even pick out what the fruit notes or the floral notes are. They just merge together in the top and the base. There is a sweetness to it when it goes down to the base in the mids. It has almost a bit of a booziness, but like a cognac or a schnapps kind of sweet booziness to it. And yeah, it's just wonderful. This is a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. So this can be an office fragrance for the daring man, a wonderful date night fragrance, a professional fragrance. It smells very French, very not aromatic, but definitely very fragrant. I can imagine, women probably like that because it does lean a little bit floral, and it lasts for a long time. How I have used it is during my orchestra performances and sessions. I have 2 orchestra fragrances. One of them is this, and the other one is latent, depending on how amped I am. If I'm like, yeah, then I'm going latent. But if I'm, wanting something, I'm gonna go with Trussardi because I'm a violinist. And you gotta pretentiously go up there and play, and I need a pretentious cologne, and that's Trussardi. But $40, and these are all 3.4 ounces. So if it's $40 and you're getting an ounce, I don't consider that a cheap fragrance by any stretch of the imagination. But it all depends on what you're looking for. How are you trying to build your collection out? Are you trying to? I think naturally we gravitate towards fragrances that we know. So I think most people probably have an overabundance of blues fragrances. That's what a lot of us get started with. I don't need any more blues fragrances, I can tell you that much. I don't even wear blues fragrances. In the summer and the springtime, I wear green fragrances. So I think that these are, some really good fits for people who have an abundance of blues, an abundance of energy-filled, maybe soapy fragrances, and they want a fragrance to build out their collection, but they don't want to spend $180, $200 on Angel Share. They don't want to, who would? I love Angel Share, but I don't want to spend $200 on that. Are you kidding me? And so these are some great choices. So that's it. I do want to thank you all for engaging with me and continuing to grow the channel. I love the requests, so please keep the requests coming and try to answer everything that I can. If I don't answer you, then it was I totally missed it. But I have some great videos coming that are viewer requested, and just keep the topics coming, what you want to see, questions that you want to ask. Be happy to answer them for you. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.